Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I got back from class a couple hours ago. I was cleaning a little. I watered the plants. I fed the birds outside. I haven't seen them lately, but when I go and like move not the curtains, but whatever is covering the sliding door, I see that the food disappears. Um, I did feed my starter and I put some aside in another mason jar and gave it to um, one of my classmates because she loves bread. I didn't realize how much people love bread because now I'm going to set aside more of my active or my sourdough starter and give it to the professor because she says she really loves bread and she wanted me to um, bring some of the things that I bake in so she could try. So I'm going to get another mason jar. I don't think I'm going to give a jar that I thrifted. I kept the ones that I thrifted. Um, and I decided to make another loaf of bread. I might just put that one in the fridge until I'm ready to use it, and it'll be in a couple days. Um, I decided to use a different recipe because I have my scale now. So I'm gonna see how it is. There is rye flour in it. So I'm curious how the taste varies. I do like the consistency of this one, so I'm gonna see how it turns out. I do have the timer on, so I'll try to get the video finished before it goes off. It's like half an hour-ish. Um, I'm, I went to the thrift store to get another pillowcase, and I think it's pretty close to finishing all the squares for the skirt. Then making a patchwork skirt, and this recipe starts off with the bulk fermentation. There's different variations, so that's 4 hours. And now I'm doing the stretch and folds, and this is also a variation, so I'm doing it every hour instead of every half hour. So I'm gonna see how it is, and I heard that other areas are having trouble with their internet too. The school was having some trouble still, not as much as the other week, but they did mention it again today. And then even states away, like far off, I was watching the live for Fiber Love Diaries because she's doing, well, she does lives in general, but she's doing the um, Tour de Fleece, and I'm popping in. I'm only doing a couple minutes a day, but it's definitely more than what I have been doing. I haven't really been pulling out the electric spinning wheel. I'm currently using the electric spinning wheel right now, and I love using it. Um, so I still have like fiber that I've had for a while that I haven't completely spun up. So, um, I still had to do some I had to spend some today. But she was saying that her area lost internet for a couple hours. Um, and I thought it was funny because like somebody else that was saying in the chat, she's from not she's not too far away from this state. In fact, like it's basically next to the state. So it's kind of like the really hot climate. And she's like, it's hot, and even when there is a breeze, it's um like an oven. I think that's what it was. Because it really does feel like it's usually when you have a breeze, you feel a little more refreshed, but this one, it's like a really warm, uncomfortable breeze. Because last night, it was like 91 degrees, and it was what, around 9:10 because I had to get the trash. No, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was a little late to get the trash cans, but I eventually got it. So, again, a long intro. I did some things. I might do something again, because I watched another video. She's so sweet. She had a short where she talked about like the foundational tools for quilting, and I really um enjoyed the video because she didn't like um overly crowd it with things that she thought were like super helpful, but not necessarily something that it would be um just like a basic thing that you would want to have for quilting. And overcrowding is not something that I mind at all in general, because I tend to have the thing where I like to see everything, and there's a lot going on with my space, and then the ambiance is just like it's everything. It somehow like it there's a lot of different things, and then somehow they come together and make sense. So I feel like just for the appreciation, because I wasn't trying to see which item would be more useful, like, and have a whole bunch of them think like that. Yesterday I bought something that it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. So this is a self-healing cutting mat, and I'm happy that I got it because it glides like when I'm using my rotary cutter, and I don't have a Fiskars rotary cutter because this is a Fiskars self-healing mat. Uh, the Fiskars rotary cutters, I've heard like things along the lines of people that have been quilting for a while that they're not ones to last that long, but they're not expensive. In the video, I don't think I saw the cutting mat specifically, but I saw her show the rulers, and I might get like the two that I'm thinking about would be the long ruler, but it's wider and it has different types of markings on it, because I do use my ruler a lot. I have a ruler from, it's like there's a see-through ruler set from the dollar store, and they have been working, but I have cut through some of it, and it's plastic. So with the actual quilting rulers, the I think they're acrylic. I'm not entirely sure what they're made out of, but they're more elevated than other rulers that aren't for this type of crafting. And I feel like that might be useful to have. It was basically around the same price as this. I was thinking about ordering it, but I figured that it would be cheaper to buy it in person because I would have to pay shipping anyway. I don't have Amazon Prime, so I always had to pay for shipping unless it's like the $35 mark for some of them, which I rarely reach because I rarely buy anything from Amazon. So I, I have been really enjoying it because it does feel like there's a difference between cutting with this and then cutting from the Dollar Tree. It was like I was using like the pudgy mat. I had another one, but I didn't know how much it would damage the blade because I already wasn't using the recommended mat for it. So I'll see how long this lasts, but it wasn't the most expensive, and I like how much surface it covers for what I'm cutting because I was cutting something for something else that I got. So I was doing like the bottom, or not the bottom, well, I did do the bottom. So I boxed the bottom and I was doing the inside for a bag. So I just squared them off and did that, but it's not big enough. But I was also thinking about making a sock bag too. So I had class today and I was thinking, oh, I'll bring my sock to knit on because I wanted to finish the sock. I don't know where the socks went. I lost them. They're somewhere here, and this this is what happens when I clean my room. I just don't know where to find stuff anymore. And some might have opinions on it because I use a lot of trash of my own and try to make it into something. I use other people's disposed items and I try to make stuff or use them. They're donations. And I I just thrive off of um I wouldn't I don't want to say chaos, but it makes sense in my head for why stuff is placed certain ways. So I'm trying to have my own way of organization. It's a specific way, but well, then I can't find the stuff. But I'll find the socks eventually. I just don't want to find them and then it's me sitting on it because I have wooden needles for the socks for both of them because I started both I started both of them. So I was thinking I already wanted to make a small project bag because I wanted to do like I'm trying to work with stuff that I have. I have been working on the Olympian sweater that has all the Ukrainian yarn. I literally have all the yarn for that. So I don't feel like well, in my brain, it might feel like I want to make sure I finish everything, but I feel like I can really prioritize on the projects that have all the yarn for it. So that would be the Yardana sweater and the Olympian sweater. And they're both the Ukrainian yarns, which is nice for whatever this weather is because it's not knitting or sweater weather. So um, with the Ukrainian yarn, it's a lot more breathable than most of the yarn that I have here, unless I knit on something like a fingering weight or lower than that. But for this bag, as I said, I have this fabric and I just want to use this. I don't really want to have to buy another fabric to complete it. So I have shown this and I think I have a drawstring that I could use, or I might take apart another bag. Well, it would be me taking apart a bag. There's like the the bed set pack where it had sheets in it. I guess that's what I was trying to say. And but that only comes with one like rope in it. There's this other bag that I put in a bag especially when I have like some of my vintage bags because they've seen a lot, and sometimes I'm just like, because they don't have a lining, a lot of times they just have like the rawness on the inside. And I I think I might wash that one that was in the thrifted bag, and I feel like I love that bag. I might hold on to it in terms of maybe, I don't know, keeping it in my room for some type of storage or cutting it apart, but that specific material would be hard to like disassemble and reassemble in different cases. So I'm thinking about it, but I really love the fab, or I don't know what type of material it is, but it's like a red tartan material, or designed with on the material or within the material. So that bag has a drawstring bag in it that I just put in there. And I could use that for this. Maybe I could use a button. I don't have a zipper that I have on me. I think one of the few bags recently that I have been able to just go commando with is the duffel bag that I got at the flea market last year when I was on the East Coast. I got it from the flea market, but I got it directly from the person selling it, and it looked like she took care of, sorry, am I gonna cough? I don't know. It looked like she took care of the bag, and I feel like I can kind of like piece together the origin story of the bag to where I'm not like thinking it's unidentifiable like stuff in the bag. So, because she was using it to store other things to bring to the flea market, and she was also truthful about it because she said, I don't know if I forget if it was her husband or somebody in her family. It was someone in her family that used it while they were like in the military. So that was the Korean War that she was saying. So I'm not entirely sure with that, but um, it's kept up. What it is, it's nice. So I do you just put stuff in there and it's fine, and the inside isn't so raw looking. You know, it is raw looking, but it's not as un not untreated as some of the other bags, like especially with some of the leather bags. They just they don't do anything inside of it. And even the bag that I got from my mom, it isn't there isn't anything really done in there to just have. So I did get another thrifted bag just because there was, I feel like it is real leather. Do I know the type of quality of leather? I don't know quality of leather, but it feels like leather. And I just like having at least a sturdy, like one of the bags being like a sturdy bag that I can do whatever with. I love the bags that I make, and I'm sure that I could, they're pretty like nice. I mean that it hasn't fallen apart or anything. So I love this. I'm actually in the process of like, I have shown my half square triangles. I'm cutting more up so that I could make another bag. This is definitely going to get used. I love bags like this. When I was little, I had, how much time do I have? I had a bag that like it was partially made by me and then different elements. My mom, she like would make fabric roses and then she gave them to me to put on the bag. And it was like I remember it was like a blue and beige black bag and I remember loving it. I just like I don't know, maybe I just love having handmade bags. I love handmade a lot of stuff. So um I will definitely keep using it and there might be a little bit more of a rotation just because if I make my bags, I want to wear them. At the same time, I also like having that sturdiness that you get from a hard wearing bag too. So I'll see what I come up with in the future. Like maybe I'll end up doing, I don't know, some type of leather working or of some sort. But I'll show the bag, and I did buy a not bed sheet. I bought a pillowcase. Technically, there was a bed sheet that went with it, and the other pillowcase. I feel kind of bad because I feel like the incentive for the person was like, oh, I'll give the whole set, and they could just buy the whole set there. But now it's incomplete. I'll get the bag and the bed sheet. The bed sheet, I keep saying bed sheet. The pillowcase, I didn't wash yet, so it's not gonna stay on the bed. I wiped down and did more of the cleaning on the inside of the bag, and I'm happy to say that like there's something about it that doesn't feel dirty. Because sometimes there's this other bag that I like too there, and I was debating which one I would get. This one was the better conditioned one, but overall it didn't have like an odor to it. The other one had um like a muskiness to it. Like my featherweight sewing machine case, like the case for it was just so musky smelling. So I haven't opened it in a while. And I've been trying to just keep the sewing machine out so it doesn't get the musk again. And I cleaned the sewing machine too, gently. That's another thing with antiques and like antique leather bags. It's like you can clean them, but it's more of like a delicate process where I don't have a leather cleaner either. So I'm gonna get the stuff. Okay, this is the pillowcase. As you can see, there are flowers on it and fitting with the color palette. So that's gonna go in the skirt. I'm gonna wash it. I already did my laundry, but I can wash my uniform today. So I'm gonna get the bag. So this is the bag, and I don't know, it seems more like shinier on camera, but it's not that shiny, I don't think. So again, I'm happy when and I wiped the outside of it, and it didn't have like a lot of dirt or anything. Like I was looking at the paper towels that I was using, and there was barely anything on it. So I got like a lot of the hardware in the sides, and it tried to just get as much as I could. So it opens like this, and it's like that. And I wiped the inside down too. And again, there was barely anything. There were some crumbs in it, and that's what I'm saying that I feel I guess I felt more comfortable when I was sold like directly the duffel bag because like I already knew, well, I didn't know, but it kind of felt like she took care of it and didn't really have that stuff in it. Because I knew, well, I know growing up, I had like a bunch of food in my bag. Um, Sometimes I just had like napkins. Like if you have food that you wanted to carry with, not carry with you, but like maybe someone gave you something and you didn't know where to put it, and obviously you had your bag on you, and you're like, I guess I'll just put it in my bag. Because that's what I did. And is it not the best? That was a long time ago. I haven't done that in years, but that's what I'm saying. It didn't seem like super crummy, but I love these types of like old, I guess old fashioned or traditional types of bags. And I try to get them like when they appear because I'm not saying like I wouldn't get, well, I'm picky about the bags because I wanted to go with all of my outfits, and this is like really intact. It didn't have the price tag on it, so I went up and they gave me what was technically their lowest price. The one time that I got the bag that was like already worn, and the person already knew that it was an elderly man, and he already knew that like the bag was kind of breaking already, and he gave it to me for $2, but technically their lowest price for bags, because they double checked with each other, was $4. So I got it for $4, and if it isn't real leather, it feels like nice quality because it's not chipping away like some of the pleather does. I feel like it will do what it needs to do, and it just seems like really intact. So I was like hoping that I would be able to line it. As for now, I might put something in it and then put my bag in it, just so maybe my stuff isn't directly. So I think I might like put another lining and then put the bag in if I'm gonna do that. But overall, I'm not grossed out by the bag, so I feel kind of more comfortable with it. I don't know what type of brand this is. I tried looking up the what it said on the on here. It says MC, but I didn't see other bags like this. I really like, I don't really buy designer bags. Well, I buy Harris Tweed, and that's made out of like Scottish wool. I really like Dooney and Burke, the older traditional type of Dooney and Burke bags, and they have more of like a traditional style to them. So this is what I go for with bags. The other bag that I saw, it was surprising to me because I don't usually go for like black, but there was black, but then the contrast was like a brighter red camel color, so like red, more red than this, and it popped so much that it seemed like there was a lot more like interest to it. But again, the stench was like really strong, and it wasn't necessarily a bad smell, but it was like a smell that made you feel like maybe somebody stored it away for a long time. So I think that's basically what I am gonna say today. I have more reading to do today, more baking apparently than I'm doing today, but I mixed some different flours in so I didn't just use up a lot of um, my bread flour, but I wrote down measurements too because they wanted the recipe for the sourdough, and I'm like, it was already me like trying to balance, or not balance, but trying to get the consistency that I was looking for in measured sourdough, and like using cup measurements instead of using scale because it's a lot different. But I did write them down. And is it an awkward, they're awkward measurements. If you want to dirty all of your measuring cups, then you could definitely go for what I'm doing, because I went for like the cups. I got 1 cup, 1/4 cup, and different combinations of them. A little less than 3/4 of a cup, 2 tablespoons. Like there were so many variations and combinations of the measurements. So I don't know how open they're wanting to try, but to get like a consistency that is pretty like it's bread. Like that's how you would consider it. It would be bread. Um, I could show them what happens. Otherwise, it might take a while. I don't know. It took me a while to get a scale because I really didn't feel like getting a scale. But because I see how off the measurements are, I at least want to see how different. And I did the uh, equivalencies of how much 1 cup is, and then to how many grams I got for per measurement, and just went off of like the scale. So I'm gonna wash stuff. I think I'm definitely in for the night. I will say I got requested. I know my mom told me already. So first my god brother told my mom, and then my mom told me that he needed a ride to the airport, but I didn't know when. And I was like, okay, well, I guess not. And then he's like, you're taking me to the airport, right? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So that'll be tomorrow. So I still have to get, what time is it? I have to get elastic for the skirt. So that would be the only thing. I got gas today because when I put gas in my car, because my parents' car, they only put premium in there and it's expensive. I was happy that my tank, it's not filled. It's for sure not filled. I filled it half, and I don't put premium in my car, but it it's good on gas. It's a Toyota, so they're cars that last a really long time. Like I pretty much did not take care of my first car. That was like completely on me, but I also like didn't really know like what I was supposed to do to take care of my car. So I kind of like I didn't have all the lights on my dashboard up, but now I know what a lot of them mean. You get tested on this on your drive or on the written test, but do you? Sometimes you get the symbols, but I didn't see it on my last test. But they have less questions now than what they did before. So um, I am really happy, especially like again, I've said this in other videos. An important thing for my bags is for them to have keychains, and I did spray it with my perfume, and I did have a disinfecting spray in the inside too. I tried not to be too harsh on the chemicals, so I kind of lightly sprayed it, but um, just to do that, I might air it out, but it doesn't have like a muskiness to it, which is always nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.